In a breakthrough that has dramatically shifted the balance of global military power, the U.S. Air Force has successfully launched and tested a Mach-5 hypersonic drone from a B-52 bomber, marking a new era in aerial warfare. Flying at over 3,800 miles per hour, that's 5 times the speed of sound, the new hypersonic drone can strike targets anywhere in the world within minutes, essentially making distance irrelevant in modern combat. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is America's newest weapon, and it changes everything about how wars will be fought in the future. The hypersonic revolution is here, and the United States has just taken the lead. But what makes this achievement so remarkable? What can this new drone actually do? And how does it compare to similar weapons being developed by Russia and China? The answers might surprise you, and they reveal why this could be the most significant military advancement of the decade. In today's deep dive, we're taking you behind the scenes of this groundbreaking technology that military experts are calling a game changer for American defense. And we'll explain why this single development may have rendered billions of dollars of enemy defense systems completely obsolete. If you believe American technological leadership matters now more than ever, type "freedom" in the comments to show your support for our troops and the incredible engineers making these advancements possible. The story of America's hypersonic breakthrough begins with a single moment: the successful launch of the Strato-launched Talon A-2 hypersonic drone. But to understand the full significance, we need to look at what hypersonic flight actually means for military capability. When we say hypersonic, we're talking about speeds exceeding Mach 5. That's over 3,800 miles per hour. At these velocities, a missile or drone launched from the continental United States could reach targets in Europe or Asia in approximately 90 minutes. But speed alone isn't what makes hypersonic weapons revolutionary. It's their maneuverability. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles that follow predictable trajectories, hypersonic vehicles can change course mid-flight. This combination of extreme speed and maneuverability creates a nightmare scenario for enemy defense systems. By the time defenders detect the weapon, it's already too late. There simply isn't enough time to track, target, and intercept something moving that fast and that unpredictably. The Pentagon has been working on hypersonic technology for decades, but recent advancements have accelerated dramatically as both China and Russia have invested heavily in similar capabilities. The successful test of the Mach-5 drone represents America's answer to these challenges and potentially leapfrogs the competition. This new hypersonic drone isn't just fast, it's reusable. This marks a critical advancement over previous systems. Earlier hypersonic vehicles were essentially one-shot weapons. Once launched, they completed their mission and were destroyed in the process. The new system changes that equation entirely. The reusable nature of this drone means the Air Force can deploy it repeatedly, dramatically reducing costs and increasing tactical flexibility. Think of it as the difference between a bullet and an aircraft. One is a single-use projectile, while the other can return to base, refuel, and fly another mission. The fact that this hypersonic vehicle was successfully launched from a B-52 bomber demonstrates the Air Force's commitment to leveraging existing platforms for next-generation capabilities. The venerable B-52 Stratofortress, which first flew in the 1950s, continues to evolve as a launch platform for the most advanced weapons in America's arsenal. These bombers can launch the hypersonic drones from standoff distances, keeping the aircraft and crew safely outside enemy air defense zones while still delivering devastating capability. The technical challenges of achieving controlled hypersonic flight cannot be overstated. At these extreme speeds, the air around the vehicle becomes superheated plasma, creating tremendous heat and pressure. The material science required to withstand these conditions represents cutting-edge engineering. Conventional aircraft materials would simply melt or disintegrate under these stresses. Beyond materials, the propulsion systems for sustained hypersonic flight represent another quantum leap in technology. Traditional jet engines cannot function effectively at hypersonic speeds. Instead, these vehicles typically use scramjet engines, supersonic combustion ramjets, that can operate at these extreme velocities by compressing incoming air without slowing it to subsonic speeds. The successful test of the hypersonic drone proves that American engineers have solved these complex challenges, paving the way for operational deployment in the near future. We're now approaching the 6-minute mark of our deep dive into this revolutionary technology. If you're finding value in this detailed exploration, consider supporting our channel on Patreon. Your contributions help us continue bringing you in-depth analysis of critical defense technologies and geopolitical developments. The link to our Patreon page is in the description below, where you'll find exclusive content and early access to our videos. Now, let's continue with our analysis of this groundbreaking hypersonic drone. The historical context of this achievement cannot be overlooked. The United States has a long history of pioneering hypersonic flight dating back to the X-15 program in the 1960s. These experimental aircraft, also launched from B-52 bombers, reached speeds up to Mach 6.7 and set altitude records that stood for decades. However, the X-15 program ended in 1968, and for many years, hypersonic research took a back seat to other priorities. The recent resurgence in hypersonic technology development represents a return to America's heritage of pushing the boundaries of aerospace capability. The new hypersonic drone builds on lessons learned from the Boeing X-51 Waverider program, which demonstrated sustained hypersonic flight in 2013. During its final test, the X-51 reached Mach 5.1 and flew for 210 seconds on its scramjet engine before exhausting its fuel supply. This was a significant achievement, but the X-51 was not recoverable. It plunged into the Pacific Ocean after completing its mission. The latest achievement represents a quantum leap beyond the X-51, combining its hypersonic capability with the critical ability to return to base for reuse. This makes the new system not just a technical marvel, but a practical military asset. So what exactly can this hypersonic drone do that existing systems cannot? The applications are numerous and strategically significant. First, the hypersonic drone gives military planners an unprecedented rapid strike capability. Targets that would take conventional aircraft hours to reach can be struck in minutes, fundamentally changing the calculus of modern warfare. This is particularly valuable against time-sensitive targets like mobile missile launchers or terrorist leadership meetings. Second, the hypersonic drone is exceptionally difficult to defend against. Current air defense systems, including those fielded by advanced military powers like Russia and China, were designed to counter traditional threats like aircraft and ballistic missiles. The unique flight characteristics of hypersonic vehicles, combining extreme speed with maneuverability, defeat these existing defense architectures. Third, the psychological impact of possessing such capability cannot be understated. The mere existence of weapons that can strike anywhere in the world within minutes creates a powerful deterrent effect. Potential adversaries must factor this capability into their strategic calculations, potentially making them less likely to engage in aggression in the first place. Fourth, the reusable nature of the drone means it can serve multiple purposes beyond strike missions. These could include intelligence gathering, reconnaissance over denied territory, or even rapid delivery of critical payloads to forces in remote locations. The development of this hypersonic drone hasn't occurred in isolation. It's part of a broader Pentagon strategy to maintain technological superiority in an increasingly competitive global environment. The United States is pursuing multiple hypersonic programs simultaneously, including the AGM-183A, Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon ARRW, a hypersonic boost glide vehicle that has undergone multiple test flights from B-52 bombers. The Hypersonic Attack Cruise Missile, HACM, a scramjet-powered cruise missile being developed by Raytheon that can be carried by both bombers and fighter aircraft. The secretive SR-72 hypersonic unmanned aerial vehicle, nicknamed Son of Blackbird, which Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division is developing as a successor to the legendary SR-71 reconnaissance aircraft. Each of these programs approaches the hypersonic challenge from a different angle, ensuring that the United States develops a comprehensive set of capabilities rather than placing all its bets on a single technology path. This multi-pronged approach reflects a lesson learned from previous military technology races. Diversification reduces risk and increases the likelihood of breakthrough success. By pursuing parallel development paths, the Pentagon ensures that setbacks in any one program don't derail the overall hypersonic strategy. The global context of this achievement cannot be ignored. Both Russia and China have made significant investments in hypersonic technology, with Russia claiming to have already fielded operational hypersonic weapons like the Kinzhal air-launched ballistic missile and the Avangard hypersonic glide vehicle. China has been equally aggressive in pursuing hypersonic capability, conducting numerous tests of its own hypersonic glide vehicles. Chinese military strategists view hypersonic weapons as a critical counter to American carrier groups and regional military presence. The successful test of America's new hypersonic drone demonstrates that the United States is not falling behind in this critical technology race, as some commentators have feared. Instead, America appears to be developing more sophisticated and practical systems that emphasize reusability and integration with existing platforms, hallmarks of a mature military technology strategy. The breakthrough in hypersonic drone technology also reflects the strength of America's aerospace industrial base. Companies like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon, and innovative newcomers like Stratolaunch have collaborated with the Air Force Research Laboratory and DARPA to solve the exceptionally difficult technical challenges associated with hypersonic flight. This public-private partnership model has long been a strength of American military innovation, combining government funding and requirements with private sector expertise and manufacturing capability. The result is technology that neither sector could develop independently. Looking to the future, the successful test of the hypersonic drone is likely to accelerate further developments in this field. We can expect to see increased funding for hypersonic research and development in upcoming defense budgets, as well as efforts to move from testing to operational deployment. Industry analysts predict that we could see operational hypersonic drones and missiles fielded within the next 2 to 3 years, with more advanced variants following in the latter half of this decade. This timeline puts pressure on potential adversaries, who must now consider how to counter a threat that many of their defense systems simply weren't designed to handle. The emergence of hypersonic capability is likely to trigger a new cycle of measure and countermeasure in military technology. Just as stealth aircraft prompted the development of more advanced radars, hypersonic weapons will likely spur investment in new defensive systems. These could include directed energy weapons, lasers, and microwave systems, which operate at the speed of light and thus have the potential to intercept even hypersonic targets. We may also see the development of space-based tracking systems that can detect and track hypersonic threats from their unique vantage point above the atmosphere. For now, however, the offensive capability represented by hypersonic vehicles holds a significant advantage over existing defensive systems. This creates a window of opportunity for the United States to leverage this technological edge for strategic advantage. The implications of hypersonic capability extend beyond purely military considerations. The same technology that enables hypersonic weapons could eventually lead to civilian applications, such as rapid global transport. Companies like Hermeus are already working on hypersonic aircraft designs that could dramatically reduce intercontinental travel times. Imagine flying from New York to London in under an hour, or from Los Angeles to Tokyo in just 2 hours. Such capability would transform global commerce and connectivity. The military research being conducted today could lay the groundwork for such civilian applications tomorrow. This pattern of military technology transitioning to civilian use has numerous historical precedents, from jet engines to GPS. The internet itself began as a DARPA project before becoming the backbone of the modern information economy. As we near the conclusion of our exploration of this groundbreaking technology, it's worth reflecting on what this achievement means for America's position in the world. The successful test of the hypersonic drone demonstrates that the United States remains at the forefront of military innovation, capable of developing solutions to the most complex technical challenges. This capacity for innovation has long been America's comparative advantage in global competition. While other nations may have larger populations or armies, the United States has consistently maintained its edge through technological superiority. The hypersonic breakthrough continues this proud tradition, ensuring that American forces maintain the capability to project power and protect national interests in an increasingly contested global environment. For the brave men and women of the United States Air Force, the development of hypersonic capability represents a new tool in their arsenal, one that enhances their ability to complete missions while reducing risk to personnel. The B-52 crews who conducted the successful test launch are continuing the legacy of American air power that stretches back to the earliest days of military aviation. Their professionalism and expertise, combined with cutting-edge technology, ensure that the United States Air Force remains the most formidable air power in history. This successful test of a Mach 5 hypersonic drone launched from a B-52 bomber represents more than just a technological milestone. It's a statement about American resolve and ingenuity. In a world of increasing threats and competition, the United States continues to lead the way in developing the advanced capabilities needed to protect our nation and our allies. As we've seen throughout this exploration, the implications of this breakthrough are far-reaching, touching on everything from military strategy to the future of global transportation. The hypersonic age is here, and America is leading the way. If you've found this deep dive informative, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel for more detailed analysis of cutting-edge defense technology and geopolitical developments. Your support enables us to continue bringing you in-depth coverage of the innovations shaping our world. Thank you for joining us for this exploration of America's hypersonic breakthrough. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, where the future arrives at hypersonic speed.